Years ago, I was tracking the comet Woody Allen. An odd eminence. I thought he was funny in a very particular, maybe peculiar way. He created a character, a goofy combination of pathos and the absurd, silliness and the metaphysical. The little nebbish with the black glasses and a whiny voice, a real anti-hero. It was the old comic device, made especially famous by the silent movie comedians, of the loser who stumbles into triumph at the end, winning the day inadvertently, and maybe even the girl. Woody wanted worked this into his stand-up comedy act, and then into his movies. I watched just about all of his early movies. And he wrote books as well, collections of stories, the same plummy bits of whimsy and dread. Then we parted ways. I lost track of Woody. I like to think he was courtside at a Knicks game or sitting with his clarinet in some small late-night club. He got married, and that episode was written, directed, and starring Woody. Mostly he was making movies, a prodigious number of them, a movie a year, churning them out. And I missed them all, even the ones that got good reviews. For me, he was like the Knicks, still playing, but not something I followed. Not long ago, I was in a library, and one of those chance encounters, I came upon a book by Woody Allen, Mere Anarchy, and I picked it up. It was a slim volume, and I figured, why not? It was already 5 years old, but I thought I might see what Woody had been up to, creatively speaking. Same old, as they say. A collection of stories, send-ups, and parodies, most of them featuring a pathetic narrator driven by a neurotic desire who gets taken in by a con that is either fantastical, absurd, devious, or modeled on some puffed-up Hollywood version of a mobster or a mogul. It was less a tale of the shark and the minnow than one of the blowfish and the little creamed herring. With an ersatz PI in for good measure. Woody always liked his ersatz PIs, taking that noir tradition for a quick trip to the Catskills. And for humor, along with the zany frame of the story, there was the typical mixture of corned beef and quantum mechanics, latkes with existential fear. I noticed, could not help but see, the vocabulary in the stories. It's there to be funny, in an odd way, and maybe also to remind the reader that Woody is self-educated, or, as he would prefer, no doubt, an autodidact. Which means that even though he is a comedian, a jester in the court, he's also, and don't you forget it, the brightest bulb in the room. Not that that does him much good. In Woody's world, intelligence is overlooked by everyone, overshadowed by good-looking ladies whom Woody pretends to mightily desire, and whom he calls fortuitous agglomerations of protoplasm, while constantly gushing about their stupendous quevalence, and the never-ending quest for the next nickel. George Orwell said, "Never use a long word when a short one would do." Woody heads emphatically in the other direction. He employs big words like landmines. His vocabulary is daunting. Maybe it's because his target audience is the ultra-sophisticated mugs who read the New Yorker. Or maybe he's prepping for the next World Scrabble Championship. When Woody delivers a laugh, he tickles the upper cortex of the cerebrum. It's like ringing a bell, while also giving a swift kick to the lizard brain. He's like a wacky combination of Noam Chomsky and Henny Youngman. Here are a few of the words in these stories, arcane, unfamiliar, multisyllabic. Dacoit, droop, corybantic, hesperidium, fubsy, taurine, ecdesiastically. My spell check is screaming. Occiput, ichor, quincunx, contumely, frest, manumit, frottage, strabismus, rugelach, transmogrifications, concatenations, cacophonous objurations, myriadons, hyphagogic, louche venues, crepuscular light, matutinal, tergiversating, susurrus, porphyry, lenyap about 6 times, mulcted, and salmagundi. Maybe he works a lot of crosswords in the Sunday Times. There's also a heap of Yiddish in the stories. Forgive my pronunciation. Bubba Mises, Gvels, Tzimis, Purim, Zuzim, Mamzer, Vildachias, Vance, Schlemazel, Chazari, Schmendrix, Nudnik, Trombenik, Tatella, Panzer, Schmitta, Meshugas, Emes, and Shmagega, to list a few. Most are meant to disparage, which is done in code so as not to alert the Meshugs. I don't know how funny I found these stories. I recognize them. It was Woody, all right. In his other books, in the author bio at the end, he'd put in, "My one regret in life is that I am not somebody else." He didn't do that here. The bio only indicated that he was prolific. So I guess he's left that Königsberg fellow far behind and become at last somebody else. There he is, on the back cover, Woody Allen.